I had no idea where it went. Okay. So now we're gonna flip to the back side of our notes. And we are gonna actually do problems that go along with our all our different rules. So you might be flipping back and forth between the two sides here. Some of them I think are really easy now that you know the rules, and then others not so much. So making sure that kind of figure that out and understand. So this first one here, they're trying to point out that these two arcs are equal. So they're telling us the arcs are equal. If that means the arcs are equal, that means what about the chords? They're equal as well. So the chord has nothing to do with the 100 degrees though. That's one of the things that's sometimes confusing. You might think that, well, does that mean 5x equals 100? No, it means that these two are just going to be equal to each other. So 5x is just going to equal 3x plus 6. So the 100, all it's there for is for me to know that those chords are the same. So we're just going to solve for x. And before this, we might have maybe been able to assume that those two would be the same, but we didn't know that for sure. Okay? Now this next one gives us a lot of information, so just trying to decipher what we all need. They tell us the diameter is 18, that's all the way across, so we'll deal with that in a little bit. They tell us LM is 12, that's this way across. The arc is 84. They want us to find LK and HP, so they want you to find two little legs there. I'm going to tell you guys all the information they gave me. I'm really not going to use any of those numbers the way they are. Because if the diameter is 18, it'd be really hard for me to show that other than drawing it over here. What would be easier to mark on my circle? What can I label easily on my circle? If the diameter is 18, what do I know? The radius is 9. So I'm going to say that this is 9. And you might say, well, that's not really helpful, but we'll use that in a little bit. It's just an easy way for me to make a note of something I know. Now, if you wrote 18 across the whole thing, that's fine. I just think it gets kind of jumbled. Now, if LM is 12 and they give me this little right angle, what do I know about, how could I write that other than writing 12 all the way across? I'm going to write 6 and 6. Again, just trying to make this easier to look at. Then they tell me that arc LM is 84, but we said that's also bisected. So I'm going to cut those two little pieces in half. So I'm going to 42 and 42. And they wanted LK, so we got that already. So again, this drawing tells us a lot. It's just trying to make sure we mark it all up correctly. Now they want to, I actually have this, they want us to find HP, which is just this little center line. I'm going to tell you guys, we need to draw something else into this drawing to help us with it.
I'm going to just...
What's up?
Nothing.
No, it's okay. There's going to be another line we want to put in here that's currently not drawn, but it'd be really helpful. Yeah?
HM and HL.
Yeah, so we can draw in a radius, and I'm probably just going to draw in one of them. So he says, let's draw in HM. What is HM? It's another radius, and it's the hypotenuse of a right triangle. If I know the radius is 9, I know that radius is 9 as well. So in order to find HP here, this is just a little right triangle. I can put a radius in the circle wherever I want because I can connect the center to the edge of the circle. As long as I'm drawing a straight line, all the radii are the same length. So we can use the fact that we know that radius is 9, this is 6, and we're trying to find that x. So if there's not a radius drawn, and it'd be helpful to draw one, you are welcome to put one in the circle. And again, that's something new. You might not, why can we do that? Well, because a radius is pretty easy to draw. So we're just going to do Pythagorean theorem. Alright, 45. So the square root of 45,
6.7.
6.7 for our HP. So if it's helpful, draw a radius. Maybe make yourself a note of that. If you know the length of a radius, they probably want you to somehow use it. Now the last problem, they didn't tell us the length of a radius. That wouldn't be helpful in that problem, but if it's helpful to draw it, you are welcome to. And again, that's just new. You're like, I didn't know I could do that. Well, now you know. The more you know. All right. Our next one here that we're going to look at, and again, this drawing refers back to those middle two rules that diameter crosses that chord. So kind of just getting used to noticing these. Now this next one goes with our last drawing. And they tell me ST is 32, which is this whole thing across. They tell me CU and CV are equal, and they're each 12. So they're telling me they're equidistant to the center. So they're telling me that those two are the same distance from the center, which means my chords are also going to be what? The same as each other. So they're telling me already that QR is 32 because of that equidistant idea. Now, they want us to find QU. Now, if I know the whole thing across is 32, it's probably going to be broken up. That's pretty safe to assume that these are each 16. Now this time they're asking us for the radius. So we're going to draw a radius in. Where do you think it'd be helpful to draw a radius in? Like, tell me the letters you would use. I would use letters that are already there. What's that? CR. I would draw a radius there. We can choose to draw a radius wherever we want. I would suggest drawing one that connects to part of our drawing that's already there. I wouldn't just draw a random radius, like, just because. So in this case, again, I have a right triangle again. We can find our radius using Pythagorean theorem. Big number, big number. I actually think this is a special right triangle, so I think it works out to be nice. So we find out the radius is going to be 20. Okay. So before we get going on homework, I am going to do a scrimmage with you guys. So once you finish the scrimmage, you're welcome to work on homework. Again, scrimmages are on your own. If you absolutely need notes, you're welcome to use them. I actually feel like I was going to ask Miss Miller. I think this chapter I'm going to let you guys use the chart we end up making because there are a lot of rules. So just a heads up, I believe I will let you guys end up using some notes. So it just be a particular notes. So I'll get you guys your scrimmage. Homework is on the screen here.